Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna kick this off. Welcome everyone to this insightful presentation. Today, we're gonna talk about unlocking your first-party data, Goldmine, ShopperID, and the future of automotive marketing with CDPs. I'm your host, Connie Gundrum, Marketing Director at CF Search Marketing, and I'm joined by our special guest and partner today, Mike Morgan, Chief Revenue Officer at Launch Labs, and Erica Long, Marketing Manager, who's going to be moderating for us today from CF Search Marketing. So we'd love for you guys to stay connected with us. We have monthly content and webinars you don't want to miss. So you can scan that QR code to sign up for our emails or follow us on social media. And Erica will also share the links in the chat if you'd like to follow us. It should make it easy for you. So before we jump in, I just wanted to share a few things about us if you're new here and this is your first time joining us. So we're CF Search Marketing. We are a conversion-focused full-service agency, so traditional, digital, and we are backed by a tech stack, including ShopperID, which we'll be talking about today. We've been in business since 2008, and we truly are automotive experts with over 40 brands nationwide, a partnership with Stellantis, Volkswagen, Maserati. We have been named a Google Premier Partner, and much, much more. So I'm going to hand it over today to Mike Morgan, and he is going to take us through our first-party data.
Cool. Thanks, Connie. Appreciate everybody joining us. I will get through this deck as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Any questions that you have, please, make note of those so that we can answer them fully at the end of the presentation. And let's get off and running. So let's start with one of the most prevalent topics in the automotive space right now. I'm sure someone or probably everyone on the call has heard this concept of a CDP, a customer data platform. All of you may know what that is, or some of you, or maybe many of you may or may not know what that is. So let's just define what a CDP is, and then we're going to move through the presentation and talk about ShopperID and how it fits in your ecosystem. So a CDP, or a customer data platform, is really built to do a really specific thing. It's built to help you collect and manage first-party data from a variety of sources, basically organize all of that data in a usable format. Some of the opportunities that it provides is it could improve your customer experience if you're able to use it and use it effectively by creating more personalized marketing. It can also provide integration and some segmentation and analytics that you may or may not be able to create without the structure of the CDP. It's often using the data inside of or organized inside of the CDP for targeted marketing. And some of its limitations, though, are it often, or in a lot of cases, does not include your anonymous website shopper data, which we'll talk more about in just a few minutes. And that's a big hole in the CDP ecosystem. And it's also often expensive and time-consuming, and frankly, in a lot of cases, requires some personnel expertise that you may not currently have inside of your dealership or inside of your marketing department. Let's look at another type of platform. This is called a shopper data platform. And basically, you're going to see some similarities here. A shopper data platform collects, organizes, and analyzes website shopper behavior data. So this big segment of first-party data that you get when people are visiting your website, which they do obviously for en masse before a buying decision is made for a vehicle purchase, or and oftentimes a service decision is made. A shopper data platform also helps you with identity resolution, means it helps identify anonymous shoppers. And we're going to talk more about how important and why that's important as we go through the presentation. It can improve your customer experience by using personalized marketing, including curating some real-time engagement opportunities with shoppers while they're on your website. It uses AI to determine both interests and where a shopper is in their buying cycle. So it not only knows what they're interested in, but it often can predict where they are in terms of nearing the point of purchase. It leverages data for targeted marketing, which shares similarity with the CDP. It offers data integration, segmentation, analytics, and it's also website and advertising agnostic, meaning it's easy to put into play with any current provider that you might have on the website or on the marketing side. So let's talk about the importance of unlocking your first-party data goldmine. So the first question that I'll throw out there, and if you guys can answer the poll here, is: are you planning on, or do you already have a shopper data platform or a consumer data platform for your dealerships? You see the poll question has popped up, and you can simply answer yes or no, and we'll be looking at the results of that. While you're answering that question, let's move through the presentation here. So, ShopperID is the future of your automotive marketing space, with or without a CDP. And I really want to work hard to define what that looks like. Let's start with: how do you grow sales inside of a dealership? And sales being defined as new vehicle purchases or new VIN ROs running through your service drive. I think we could make a really strong argument that data usage drives sales growth. The more data you have and the easier it is to use, the higher the sales potential for your individual dealership or your group of dealerships. Let's think about the use of data in context of where you are today. Certainly, everyone on this call has been using data in any number of ways to successfully market your dealership and successfully sell and service vehicles. Think about your lead nurturing process. Lead is converted. It generally is going to run through your BDC process or your sales floor process, depending on how your dealership's set up. I'm sure you have buyer nurturing processes in place, probably utilizing your CRM to automate some communication process. I'm sure, got service customer nurturing to make sure that you not only capture service opportunities, but you continue to have those service people come back and create that recurring service business with you. And even with a new CDP that you might be investing in, lead data is one of your primary sets of shopper data. First party leads from your website, along with third party leads, is a primary driver of new opportunities to make sales. Another set of data that you're all familiar with is your vehicle buyer data. New sales that you've just recently made in month, perhaps previous sales. You've got data on loan terms and equity positions that you can use to try and pull buyers ahead out of a lease or potentially out of a purchase into a new purchase. And you certainly have service customer data, either from previous or new VIN service customers. I'm sure you're using that data to its fullest potential, or you're attempting to use it at its fullest potential to drive sales. As I'm sure you're aware too, your monthly sales and service RO outcomes are driven by your use of these existing data sets. Again, the better you are handling leads, the better you are at reanimating, lost opportunities for leads that never converted into a sale, using your equity mining software or process, and really working thoughtfully and consistently with the process around sales and service retention. All of those processes drive your sales volume and potentially your sales growth. There's another way that you could be driving increasing sales, and that's with this data set that you're most likely missing out on. It's absolutely the largest set of data available to your dealership, but I can almost guarantee you that it's an untapped data set that we can help you with. So what's the missing data set? It's your website shopper data, the single largest and most important data set that you've never had access to. And ShopperID can solve that and will solve that problem for you. And I want to talk you through what that looks like. So why is shopper data vital? I've said a couple of times now, it's the largest data set available to you. To put that in context, your monthly shopper data set that you've not had access to for probably the lifespan of your website is generally 8 to 10 times larger than the data sets that you have had access to. Another thing about that shopper data that's generally unavailable to dealerships is it's the most recent data you can access, which recency is crucial for targeting low funnel shoppers. If you think about the importance of recency, think about it in the context of your changing inventory levels, the changing interest rate structures, the changing manufacturer promotions that they're pushing down to help drive in-month sales. All of those opportunities to drive buyer activity are driven by the recency and availability of the data that you have. We believe that having access to more data will drive more customers for you. And having recent data that you can leverage to align with current shopper interest is, again, another effective way to drive incremental increases in your sales output. Just to put this in context, the importance of having access to data and having access to recency data. Imagine the scenario. Sure, you're all familiar with and probably using some type of SEO process for your dealership. But and the way that process works is your SEO company builds pages that they believe would be of value, sustainable value, and those pages continue to attract buyers over and over again to your website or shoppers that you're hoping to turn into buyers. Well, imagine if your SEO company was building these pages for you, but at the end of every month, they just erase those pages and change the keyword process a little bit, and they start it all over again. The process would lose its longer term value because you would lose access to this set of interest that you had built up over time. The best SEO strategy is one that you're probably using that builds on the past SEO value that you've built up and just incrementally builds more and more value into that SEO process. If you get access to your website shopper data, you're kind of going to be in that same space where you're able to drive more and more value using access to data that again, you previously not had. Let's put the amount of this data into context. Your current lead data is represented by this circle that you see here. It's a relatively small but very recent and new set of data. Your second set of data is your current sold and service customer data. Those are things, information records that exist both in your CRM and also in your DMS. If you look at that in the context of the amount of people that are coming to your website on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, but are not flowing in as either captured lead data or existing in your historical data sets, it is exponentially larger. So the opportunity that we see with ShopperID and that we want to help your dealership with is to start getting access to this enormous set of data, and not only get access to it, but get access to it in a way that you're able to do meaningful things with the data that can drive incremental sales and service. Before we get into how it works, let's talk about what the context of this opportunity is. So if you imagine a current data set from a website, a dealership website that gets 10,000 visitors a month. It's about an average size dealership. Some of you may be a little smaller than that. Some could be exponentially larger than that. But just to put this in context, for a dealership website that gets 10,000 visitors a month, on average, you're going to drive about 200 new leads into your CRM from those 10,000 website visitors, meaning 98% of those visitors are not going to fill out a lead form. This is true for virtually every dealership website in the country. You're also going to make some sales. So let's say in this scenario, you're selling 150 new and used vehicles combined over the course of that month. And you're also driving a new 75 new VINs into your paid ROs. What that means is, out of the 10,000 people that interacted with your website in that 1 month time frame, you created a data set of about 425 usable records out of 10,000 people. Let's look at what that would look like if you were able to leverage the value of de-anonymized shopper data. Just to put this in context, ShopperID is able to de-anonymize about 40% of the people that visit your website. So let's look at what that looks like on a monthly basis. This same website that gets 10,000 visitors a month is still generating the 200 leads, still making 150 sales in this first month, still creating those 75 ROs that are new VIN, not in the CRM or maybe first time ROs. And now you're adding another 4,000 usable in real time shopper records on top of your data set. The total data that you have available in this scenario now is 4,425 shoppers, individual shoppers that we know things about that are set up in a meaningful way for us to do meaningful things with that drive sales and service ROs. So you're in this stage, you've increased your data set by 10 times without having to do anything different than what you're currently doing, other than deploy ShopperID on your website. So on a month that doesn't seem, it's a big deal, but it's not exceptionally large. What does that look like over the course of a year? Well, the same website, 10,000 new visitors a month, 120,000 website visitors over the course of a year. If we just continue to represent the same numbers, that dealership's going to drive 2,400 leads into the CRM. They're going to drive 1,800 new customers and 900 new ROs. So the total data records that you're adding to your usable data sets are 5,100 records. What does this look like with ShopperID over the course of a year? You're able to not only add those 5,100 records that you're going to get without ShopperID, but imagine adding another 48,000 records to your data set of shoppers who have been active on your website on a monthly basis, month after month after month. Again, instead of the 5,100 records at the end of a year, you've now got 53,000 data records of individual shoppers that you can use to try and drive an increase in sales volume. 5 years, the numbers just continue to repeat themselves. 600 visitors gives you 25,500 usable data records versus your current platform or your current website with ShopperID. You've now increased your available shopper data over a 5-year period to 265,500 records. I would ask you to think, what could you do with another 240,000 records? When I say record, I mean, an identity of an individual shopper that has their interest and their timelines to buy and all of their shopping activity on your website. Imagine what you could do inside of your dealership or your dealer group over a number of years with access to 10 times more shoppers than you currently have access to. That's really what ShopperID is designed to help you with. Let's take that a little step further. So having more data is always better, but access to that data alone is not enough to drive sales and service outcomes. As I mentioned before, if you think about your current data sets, leads, sold records, and all of the data that exists in your DMS and your CRM, you have processes that have been built out: email campaigns, outbound call campaigns, pull ahead campaigns, service drive process to try and get service vehicles bought back and put that owner back into a buyer mode. If we're able to unlock, or as we're able to unlock access to this data that's 10 times larger than you've ever had, it's not enough just to present that data to you. You would really need that data in a usable form that can drive outcomes. And ShopperID has built that. It's a turnkey shopper data platform that not only creates an exponentially larger data set of real-time shoppers, interested shoppers who are originating their interest on your website, but it provides a fully turnkey process to allow you to do meaningful things with that first-party data that you're acquiring now that you have visibility into who these shoppers are. Those meaningful things are giving you the opportunity to engage your on-site visitors with a set of conversion tools that are designed to present relevant, segmented messages to shoppers as they express interest through their click path on your website. Meaning you can differentiate your messaging with the ShopperID platform between a new car shopper and a used car shopper, a CPO shopper, or a service shopper. You can even differentiate on the new car side model level interest. Maybe you've got a $10,000 manufacturer rebate against your truck inventory, but you've got a 0 for 72 against a sedan offer that the manufacturer is supporting. If I'm looking at sedans, I don't really care about the 10,000 off trucks. I would really love to know about that 0 for 72 or 0.9 for 72 on a sedan opportunity. ShopperID gives you the flexibility to present the right message at the right time with the right shopper interest while they're on your website. While it's doing that, ShopperID is creating audience segments that you or your marketing department or your advertising partner can use to drive meaningful off-website engagements with people based on their specific interest. So again, you could carve out a truck visitor segment and create an advertising strategy around people who have expressed interest in trucks in the last 7, 10, 30, 45 days, and drive your messaging against a data set with a message that would be very relevant to their interests. ShopperID also automatically re-engages those unconverted shoppers. So, and again, just to mention, dealerships have a 2% conversion rate from visitor to lead on their websites. That's a nationally accurate statistic for dealership websites across the country. 2 to 2.5% is the average conversion rate. Imagine having 40 or 50% of those unconverted shoppers, which again represent thousands of people every month, not only be de-anonymized and presented in a way that we understand what they're interested in, but ShopperID can automatically re-engage them with an email message that's relevant to their interest. Even if their interest changes, the ShopperID platform automatically develops or regenerates the email messaging, and they send that to the shopper when they leave your website with the full intention and a proven track record of success of bringing those shoppers back to your dealership to shop over and over again. While the platform is segmenting these audience segments, it generates the first party audiences that you have probably never had access to in a meaningful way for retargeting. Those retargeting methods might include direct mail or digital video or any of your programmatic or digital ad spend tactics that you're currently or would like to be using on the back of that first party data set. And ShopperID even has the ability to separate shoppers who've never done business with you from shoppers who are past customers. And when it sees that past customer segment, it's able to pull them out of the overall shopper activity and do different things with those shoppers than it does with people who've never done business with you, meaning it can create a custom message that's designed for customers only. And it can also flag your dealership that a past customer is reappearing and looking like they're coming back in the market with the full intention of helping you drive a reduction in defections from your dealership based on real-time shopper activity from past customers, likely before they're ever going to tell you that they're back in the market. So you can get ahead of that defection curve in a really big way from what we've seen using ShopperID. So let me do a kind of a wrap up here, and then we'll make this a little more interactive. The key takeaways: a shopper data platform and potentially a customer data platform play a crucial role in maximizing the potential of data for your sales and service ROI. I think we could all agree, without exception, a first party data strategy is a must in 2024. Particularly given the fact that Google seems to be staying the course that they are going to get rid of access to third-party cookie data before the end of this year. As I'm sure you're aware, Safari has already done that. In their browser, Firefox has already done that, meaning you're no longer able to take advantage of third-party tracking in either of those browsers. Google is headed into that space finally, it seems, before the end of this year. So a first-party data strategy is crucially important. Shopper data is the largest data set and the most recent set of data available to your dealership. Not leads that were converted a month ago, not CRM or DMS-based data that you've acquired sometime over the last 1, 3, 5, 8, 10 years, but shopper activity and shopper data that were on your website within the last 30 days. And by the way, that shopper data, again, is exponentially a larger set of data than anything you've probably had ever had access to. Most CDPs do not have access to shopper data. So if you're going down the CDP route, a shopper data platform is actually a great addition to a CDP because it exposes and adds shopper data fuel to the CDP format. And it really helps you accelerate the use of a CDP. More data does equal more opportunities, but having a process for that data is crucial. The data has to be actionable. And again, ShopperID is built to not only give you access and expose this data you've likely never had access to, but more importantly, it comes with a full suite of process built to move shoppers from shoppers de-anonymized into buyers for your dealership. Connie, with that, I'll flip it back over to you and let you take it from here.
Yeah, so we have a special offer for those of you who sign up by the 1st of April. We are going to be giving April for free. So you'll get 1 month free if you sign up. So you can contact us today. We will be providing an email here for you it's sales@CF Search Marketing. We'll put it up on screen in a few slides. And you can reach out to us or just submit a lead on our website. We do have a promo code, March Webinar 2024, for that offer. So we'll take it to Q&A for those of you who do have questions. You know, we are available to take any questions on anything that you might have seen or anything maybe just CDP shopper data related that we might have not talked about. So we'll open up the chat and for those questions. While we're waiting for those, if we have any, the answer to our poll question was yes, 57% of the audience is planning or does already have a shopper data platform or a customer data platform. So good to see it's on the majority of your to-do lists, or you're already, innovating and have those in place. So that's really good news. Do we have any questions?
We actually do have a question from Charlie Watson. He just put it in. If we move forward with ShopperID, can you explain how CF will use the data through strategies and channels?
That's a great question. Yeah, so I can take that. So those audiences are available to us. So all the things that Mike talked about, the on-site tools, the conversion tools that are available, the remarketing through email, but also, CF can pull those lists to be used in other advertising. So let's say we're running Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We can use those lists. If we want to do direct mail, we can do that. Video advertising, pairing it up with your OTT, all ways of using that great data. Would you add anything, Mike, to that?
No, it's just, I would reiterate, it's a strategic way to use the best data that's available to your dealership, which is the most recent set of data on actual shopper interest and behaviors while they've been on your website inside of the last 30 days. And it's very segmented. It's specific to interests, and very actionable in any number of ways, down any type of advertising tactic or channel that would be relevant and important to driving outcomes in the form of sales for your dealership.
Last but not least, for today, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can schedule a ShopperID demo. It doesn't take long. We can probably do 20, 30 minutes. And again, you can reach us at sales@cfsearchmarketing.com. All right. Does anybody else have anything else? If not, I think we'll wrap this. Thank you guys for joining today. We appreciate it as always. And stay tuned for our next webinar. You guys have a great rest of the month and finish March strong.
Thanks, guys.